can we call him the best ever to play defensive end in the CFL? Would that be an accurate assessment?
It sounds beautiful.
Nice. Charleston Hughes joins us. How are you?
I'm all right, pretty good. How are you?
Not bad. We interviewed Joshua Bell the other day on the Rider Coaches Show. Now,
okay,
I've only ever seen the man. I've never heard him speak. We have no idea of his personality. What a guy. He seems like I would love to hang out with him in a social setting.
He was definitely one of my favorite guys to play with on the field, man. You know, Josh Bell paint that face for every single game, and he's going out with his war paint on, ready for battle. Real vocal, great leader. No wonder he's having success, you know, as a coach, especially as a player, man. He was a good leader. He was good vocalist, and he made himself be heard on the field with his pads and, you know, with his mouth.
So when he talked about his time in Calgary, when he learned, and he had mentioned that he'd learned from guys like you, it got me to thinking, Joshua Bell, Jameer Thurman, Mike Rose, Micah Johnson, you've mentored all these guys. Charleston, I don't know if we still have your direct deposit on file from the Riders, but I think we may owe you a little cash here, because this 2025 defense, I think, is large in part to you and your mentorship a decade ago, teaching the young bucks how it's done and how it rolls in the CFL.
Yeah, man. When you got a chance, when you really think about the impact that I had on a lot of players, and I never hoarded information. I let everything go to everybody that was circled around me. If you go back and like do a real statistical breakdown of every single defensive end that's played on the opposite side of me has left and went to the NFL after 1 year. So that's saying a lot. If you go back and really check out the research and look throughout the league, that's every single defensive end that's played opposite of me has left and went to the NFL and had an NFL opportunity. So the thing is that, you know, all these guys I've coached, I've mentored, I've shown them and paved the way for them and showed them the ropes. You know, I get to sit back and now and watch my success and watch it just grow.
It's like watching your kids, but you don't have to buy them new gym shoes or whatever. It's great. So the Riders win on Saturday in Winnipeg, and the big story coming out of the game, I don't think it was a dirty hit. I think it was an unfortunate hit, but Zach Collaros gets hit. He's knocked out of the game. There was a 15-yard penalty, but in 2025, that's the CFL. You're going to get called all the time. What did you make of that? I'm not sure if you saw it live or if it was in replay, but first blush when you saw that play happen.
I was like, woo, that's a damn good hit. First of all,
yeah.
You know, but the thing is, as a quarterback, the first thing you need to do as a quarterback, and nothing against Zach and just him, he's a great football player. He has great knowledge of the game, but you got to see zero when it's coming. So you can't be too glued downfield that you don't see, you know, a zero blitz coming at you. So the thing is you got to be prepared to get that ball out quick. Now, when it comes to the hit, man, I mean, I know Reeves personally. I played with him. He plays fast and he plays super aggressive. So he don't play to hurt nobody. I don't think that was malicious. I don't think he did that with the intention of hurting anybody. I think he did that with the intention of playing fast and aggressive and making a play. I mean, on his part too, could he have tackled him a little bit lower? Yeah. I think he could have dropped his pads and been more inside the strike zone, I guess you can say, which is shoulders to above the knees, basically. And that's like your strike zone for a quarterback. But the way the game is now, it don't even matter if you did hit him in the strike zone. You still would have got a flag. You still would have got a penalty. The league still would have been bashing you about it. So the thing is, you just got to roll with the punches and just try to be a little bit smarter next time on both sides. On Zach, seeing the pressure, knowing the pressure's coming, and getting the ball out and not just standing there. And on the blitzer, knowing that, okay, yeah, what can I do better? I could have been a little bit lower and hit him more in the strike zone and try to avoid the penalty.
Is there a play like that where you had a free run at the quarterback? Because I know you've had more than one. A quarterback that stands out in your mind, and who was that quarterback?
Sheesh, Bo. I think the last one I had like that was probably Bo Levi, and same thing. I ended up knocking him out for like, I can't even remember. He was out for maybe 4 to 6 weeks.
Whoa. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Last job, Bo Levi Mitchell. Holy smokes. Now, when that happens, because you're a competitor, and between the whistles, it's go time. This is how you earn your living. Do you say something to him after the play? Is it after the game you're texting him? Like, when do you reach out as a person and say, hey, man, I hope you're okay? Like, because there's got to be, I would think there is some civility like that, isn't there?
Yeah, man. You just got to roll the punches and just, if you want to apologize, you can apologize. But the thing is when you're doing a play like that, man, you're just trying to play fast, man. It ain't no intention on hurting the guy behind it. So you kind of apologize on the spot and just say, my bad, unless he's really that, hurt, then you just keep moving on and keep playing football.
Did you say anything to Bo? Was Bo okay with it? Like, how did that go down between you two?
Well, I thought he was joking. I asked him, I was like, man, I barely hit you. So I came at him in a joking manner, and then I seen he was out for some time, and then just was like, man, I didn't try to, hurt you or anything like that. I was like, I was just making a tackle. But he knew it too, though. It's just the game.
I found that the Bombers, when they had success on Saturday, it was throwing outside the numbers and Ontario and Wilson. Throwing anywhere inside the numbers with that Riders secondary, Charleston, if you're offensive coordinator, that's dangerous territory. A lot of those balls are getting picked off. Not a lot of completions. If it's you, are you staying away from Mulligan and the rest of the gang with Agent Zero and all that?
Sheesh. I mean, it's a dangerous throw, man. And kudos to Corey Mace on, developing that style of scheme, from, Devon Claybrooks and Rich Stublers and the who else came from that era? Ryan Phillips. He has an influence of that Rich Stubler type defense. They protect the middle of the field, and they keep that ball thrown to the outside the hashes. So the thing is when you got a defense like that and guys who can really hunt and get after that football, I mean, it's dangerous. I don't throw it. I wouldn't throw it in the middle of the field.
No, and it seemed nuts when they were trying, and I'm like, oh, you guys. So the Saskatchewan Roughriders are 10-2. Montreal's coming to town this week. McLeod Bethel-Thompson could be the starting quarterback if he practices all week. There's going to be no Davis Alexander. I had said, even with MBT, the Riders could hang 40 points on this Alouette team easy because MBT's not that mobile. He's a rhythm guy. But Montreal, they got some guys back. Jason Moss, he's a good play caller. Some days he looks incredible. Other days he looks average. Is Montreal dangerous just because you don't know what you're going to get out of them?
They are dangerous, man. And just like you said, Bethel, I mean, he's a veteran quarterback. He's won in this league. He got championships under his belt. You can't underestimate him. He's a gunslinger. Like, if he needs to throw deep, he's going to throw deep and challenge you deep. So the thing is you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know with an inconsistent team like that. I mean, especially from coaches all the way down to players, you just got to play them like they're the best team in the league, man. And I hope the Riders go at it with that type of attitude.
But Charleston, on a roster of 50, we're 10-2. Some guys think that they're going to be invincible. Like, you're never going to lose another game. And then there's guys that are going to be realists, and I know that guys will bring other guys in and all of that. But hopefully there's not enough guys with their heads in the clouds that are significant out there. But trust me, as a fan, I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, nothing could... Didn't Starship sing the song in the 80s, Nothing's Going to Stop Us Now? The San Francisco, the Golden Gate Bridge in the background. and all of that.
I know. At what
teams,
point do you just say we got it every single game?
because even when our field goal kicker, who's having a bit of a rough season, it hasn't cost us any games. He's kind of working his way out of it. He seems to have jinxed Winnipeg's field goal kicker the past couple games, and that kind of... Oh, Charleston. Not that you're not a good team guy, but when the field goal...
going. I feel sorry for my guy Brett Lathers, man. It's been a rough patch for him, for sure. Especially with having a kid, too. You know, congrats on him having a kid, by the way. But yeah, It's been a rough go. But the thing is you're the best team in the league. I've been there before when Mace been there before too, when you've been the best team in the league all year long and you make it to that final game, the game that counts the most, and
I know.
You lay an egg. So you got to stay humble and keep battling.
This is what I want to tell Rider fans if you're listening right now. Charleston Hughes is with us on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. You guys dominated for a decade in the regular season, but it did not translate into Grey Cup wins. This is what I am worried about, that we are so far down the road and in love with who we are this year that we're 10-2 and all of that. Cautionary tale, the Calgary Stampeders, right? Cautionary tale, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. 5 Grey Cups, you win 1 or 2. Like, it can happen at the worst time. That's what has me going, hold on. This is nice, but we're not done. It's September, 10th today. There's still a lot of football left.
A lot of football still left, man. And anything can happen in between, now and in the end of the season and rolling in the playoffs. Like, it's good to get your bad football out of the way. That way you can still continue to play good football by the time playoff time comes.
Now, I know that the Stamps had a few injuries for their Labor Day rematch. Edmonton had more, like Niles Morgan wasn't in the lineup. But that Elk team, that was a beating they put on Calgary. You're rushing for 200 yards. Your quarterback's playing well. Yeah, Joel DeBlanco all of a sudden had a breakout game, their number 1 draft pick. Charleston, do the Elks scare you as much as they scare me? They're kind of getting it together.
They're getting it, man. And, I got a great feeling they're going to make the playoffs and they're going to surprise some people in the playoffs. But remember, I did say that, Edmonton's going to be a dangerous team. I did say that they weren't going to win the first game, but that second game, they're going to pull it off. And that's exactly what they did. So the thing is man, they're still in the hunt.
Once the Riders play Montreal, then it's a bye, then they go to Edmonton. And I'm worried about that game. That's the perfect trap game for us, because let's say we do beat Montreal, we're 11-2. Now we're even more in love with ourselves. Like, we can't stop looking in the mirror because we're just so beautiful. Then we go to Edmonton. Cody's going to be fired up. Justin Rankin, and you know this, like, he's one of those guys, like, if he gets going, he does not stop. He does not stop. And that can pose a problem, because when the Stamps beat us, they ran the ball on us both games. And you have to think Edmonton would try and do the exact same thing, would they not?
No, 100%. They're going to come in and establish that run. I mean, that's what I would do if I'm an Edmonton team and you got a quarterback who's really playing good football right now. Jesus sprinkles. He's doing what he got to do. But the thing is when it comes down to it, man, you got to establish the run. And that's what's keeping Edmonton a dangerous team and aggressive.
It opens up so many more options for them. And the Stamps, I know a lot of Rider fans were happy to see the Stamps lose. VA has looked kind of, ever since the Rider game, he's looked human. I don't know if the Rider game was a pinnacle and now it's been a little bit of a letdown. Like, they played well enough in the Labor Day game to win, then last game, and it just kind of was, there's ebbs and flows. I want to ask you about Winnipeg Hamilton with no Zach Collaros and Chris Streveler going in. Bo Levi and the Ticats should take care of business. But as Chris Streveler said, there's still some meat on the bone with those Bombers. I still like Hamilton, though, at home, if Streveler's the starting quarterback.
It's still some meat on the bone. When I think of that and somebody says there's still some meat on the bone, that means there's not a lot of meat on that bone. So the thing is, man, it sounds like they've ran out of opportunities and ran out of chances, and there's a little bit of give up there. That don't sound very optimistic to me that you're gonna turn everything around and make it happen and go after, wins for the rest of the season kind of deal. That sounds like, I don't know, you're penny pinching.
But the thing that scares me about Hamilton, just when you think they should win and do the right thing and follow through with like logic and everything else, they lay an egg. They're just like Ottawa at times. You can't trust them. That's what has me a little worried. Maybe Bovi is going to put it up. To me, Ottawa, if they beat BC again, BC, wrap it up, you're done. Because you've just kind of taken yourself out of the playoff picture. When they lost that game last week, I'm like, your defense, you deserve to lose. Offense did what it could. Defense blew it.
Yeah, man. I mean, BC, yeah, they're in a struggle bus right now. So the thing is, yeah, man, you never know in that East either, especially with a team like Ottawa, and they're up and down and they're struggling too. But the thing is, Hamilton, they'll still come out of the East, just like I called it. Hamilton,
I know you called it. They're going to be in the Grey Cup. I know. They're going to be.
Just like I called it. So we'll see. We'll watch it happen, just like I explained.
Edmonton at Toronto. Edmonton on the road, I think, can still be dangerous because Toronto, once again, you never know who's going to show up. Nick Arbuckle may have a great game, but their defense can be suspect at times. This, to me, the Elks thing is, if they can get a lead early and just stay ahead a little bit, just stay ahead, hang around, I think they have a chance to win. But they can't make it 2 or 3 scores because I don't know that the Eskimos can come back and be that explosive to match what Toronto's doing when they're all firing on cylinders there.
Yeah, when they really get moving with the ball, man, and it has to be a high-scoring game for them to win, and that's what it really boiling down to. They can't really rely on their defense very much. Got a lot of young guys over there, a lot of guys that just don't know how to play CFL football yet. So really they're just going out and just doing the best they can. But when it comes to that offense is, high-powered. I know they've been having talks with Chad Kelly coming back at some point in time this season. Let's see if that does happen. I mean, that might give them the spark that they need to kind of make a playoff push for, this back half of the season.
What was your favorite NFL game on the weekend?
I think my favorite part was when Micah Parsons went and got that sack. I really, really pay attention to like that front seven, and I watch linebackers and D ends and D tackles, and I'm glued into that section. But the spotlight was on him, and they wanted to know, is he kind of washed up now, even though he's only 26 years old? Why did the Cowboys get rid of him? They're watching him. They're watching this guy. They want to see what he's going to do with a new team, whether he got, a fire lit underneath him now because he's with a new team. And I think he did what he had to do. He went out, got a sack. He played very well. He was pass rushing, just as good as he was when he was in with the Cowboys. So I think that was my favorite part of the night and favorite game. Watching Chicago. That Chicago game was pretty entertaining too. You didn't know what you were going to get from JJ. Kind of the same situation like what Winnipeg kind of looks like, where they got good running backs, they got good receivers and guys around that quarterback. But what are you really going to get from this guy? And I think he did what he had to do as a football player.
I was totally impressed because much like Caleb Williams, okay, great, another guy coming out of college, highly touted, prove it. Then J.J. McCarthy, once the second half rolled around and maybe it took a half to be like, all right, I'm in the NFL, the lights are bright, and he started playing. And then Kevin O'Connell called such a smart game for him. I watched that. I was like, all right, Minnesota. I love Justin Jefferson. I love that he was wearing 19 different chains and like $47,000 worth of jewelry. in his uniform. Obviously, he's not making a CFL salary because that would be all like cubic zirconia. But he was balling out
put some
there.
twisters around your neck.
Yeah. My hot take from the weekend, because when you're fighting in the second quarter of a football game, the very first game of the season, it's going to be a long year, that Mike McDaniel is the first head coach fired from the Miami Dolphins. Because I think this Miami thing, the wheels are going to fall off and the car is going to blow up. Tua turning the ball over is not the answer.
I know, man. That team's rough. It started with like Tyreek Hill. I think he started in the offseason, and everybody's like,
I know.
Why is Tyreek Hill talking about trade talk and want to leave the team and all this stuff, and nobody knows why. And then this starts to hit the fan. So it's rough, man. It's rough.
I thought it was incredibly amusing that right after, I'm glad Cincinnati won because, well, I don't know. You got 7 yards in 2 quarters of football. I don't think you deserve to win. But Cleveland found a way to beat Cleveland, and then they ended up winning. And then it was pointed out later that fans of the Cleveland Brown game got extended coverage of Baker Mayfield in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Atlanta Falcon game where they go on and Tampa Bay wins. So it's like insult to injury right there.
Yeah, man. Oh, man, I didn't watch too much of that game, but I seen some highlights of the Browns, and I got that Sampson kid on my fantasy team, so he played pretty damn good for me.
Yeah, apparently I heard Kevin Stefanski sticking with that kicker, whoever their place kicker was, that missed the extra points, the field goals. He's going to be kicking for them again this week. Tomorrow night, week 2 gets rolling as we wrap up here. Washington Commanders, Jaden Daniels, and those Green Bay Packers. Do you think that because it's funny, Green Bay, they had Detroit in a pretzel. There was no way. If you're a Lions fan, you should have won last year or the year before, because there's no way now you lose those coordinators. You had no answer for that Green Bay defense.
Yeah, man, I was rooting for Detroit, man. Detroit was my team that I was hoping they finally, closed out and got that win. But same thing, like I talked about the Saskatchewan Roughriders. You can be the best team in the league and, absolutely destroy every single team you play against until that playoff game comes, and then drop an egg and play your worst football at the worst time possible, and you can lose, and that whole entire season meant nothing. So when it comes to like a team like Detroit, they lost a lot when it comes to coaches, players, which they retained a lot of players, but they still lost a lot when it comes to just actual drive to win. Yeah, they're going against a tough team, especially coming up. Green Bay, Washington, Jaden Daniels is the truth, man. You got to watch out for that guy. Knows how to manage the game well.
All righty. We always enjoy our time. He's our favorite guest here on the Sports Cage. He's our Wyoming Cowboy. Your starting cowboy for the state of Wyoming, Charleston Hughes on the Sports Cage. As always, my friend, thank you. Appreciate it. And a little Ric Flair to wrap it all up. We love that.